Hey everyone, welcome back for another video and of course my discussion on the sixth and the final Transformer in the Transformer series. And today, of course, I'm going to discuss and rant on Bumblebee. It's probably gonna be rant and movie review because this movie was fucking stupid. It was stupid. I watched it last night. This movie, came out 2018, December 21st in the US. Titled Bumblebee, which was a prequel to the first film. To this film, it was a prequel. Now, I don't know what we're trying to do with this film. This is the first Transformer movie that was actually not directed by Michael Bay, but was directed by Travis Knight. This is actually his first film. Before that, he directed animated movie. This is actually his first film. Was written by Christina Hodson or Hudson. She was the one that she did that sequel, Birds of Prey, of Harley Quinn, that movie. My friend saw it in movie theater and he was disappointed. I did not saw that movie. I did not care about that movie. Now, Bumblebee 2018 was, like I said, it's fucking stupid. I was so disappointed. I hated this film. I hated it. Now, I know that the people really like this film because Michael Bay's not involvement. They like this film. That's cool. More power to you. I don't hate anyone. I don't judge anyone. But this movie was just terrible. It was atrocious bad. Worse than the last night? No, it wasn't worse than the last night. But the last night is still the worst one because they went at killing off Sam Witwicky without any explanation. The last night is still to me the worst one. This will be to me the second worst one. Like I said, this movie was just stupid. For the first almost whole hour, this movie focused nothing but about this teenage girl's life. You know, Charlie Watson, played by Haley Steinfeld. It focused like whole fucking hour just focused on her poor life. This movie said back in 1987 when Transformers animated series ended it. So it's now a prequel. And Bumblebee, he fights off, I think it's B-27, he's been called. He fights the war on Cybertron. Not Megatron, this guy, Optimus Prime, once again returns. He once again returns. And during the fight, Bumblebee somehow, I kind of forgot because the movie's kind of forgettable. He goes and he lands. He goes and he lands on Earth. Because he was sent there, just like in Superman, he was sent on Earth. This movie is kind of homage to Superman, in my opinion. So he lands while we have John Cena and a group of commandos, playing a little war game until from the sky, Bumblebee lands. And because John Cena's character wants to find out what hit them, they thought he was an enemy, So Bumblebee escapes, leaves the man, behind, lying in a pool of death, instead helping them. And it kind of feels like a superhero movie. They did that in the superhero movie and they just failed. It just wasn't that good in my opinion. I was bored, I barely make it. So, because he's been attacked by another Decepticon, Bumblebee fights out. Decepticon goes and he goes and casts his voice so he can speak. So Bumblebee survives and he turns himself into a yellow 1969 Volkswagen Beetle. So we find out that this girl, she's actually a teenager, played by Haley Steinfeld. Charlie Watson. She's a little teenage girl, and her life is a piece of shit mess. I understand she's poor, and I kind of really feel bad for the actress that she gets so terrible character. I wanted the movie to be more badass, and we find out how bad, like Back to the Future, how her life is messed up. Her dad died, he was probably the only good thing in her life. And she has a mother that she's a fucking bitch. She's a fucking dick. A atrocious bad asshole dick she was. Her stepfather was a piece of garbage. He was nothing but a dick. They're both dicks. She turned 18. She did not got no cake. She did not got nothing. Her brother was a snitch. He was a fucking snitch. Her family was a piece of shit garbage. So she works, and there's this guy who's another dick who she at first likes it, but there's this little girl who hates Charlie. She's a bitch, and Charlie has to work for her living. But she couldn't even got, while she's a mechanic, and she likes when she's actually a car mechanic, and she likes to work on cars. She sees Beetle Volkswagen 1969, and because it's her birthday, she convinces the owner, that he gives her, that he gives her away, the car. So she says, I'm gonna work for you, and I'm gonna clean toilets, everything. And says, we don't hire, you can get it, And so she gets the car, but she doesn't know that that's actually Bumblebee, the Transformer. He's actually called Bee in this movie. So she goes home. There's this guy, this Afro-American guy who likes her, but she doesn't notice him, because why the fuck she won't even notice him? Her life was messed up. It was her birthday. Her parents, her stupid shitty mom gives her a goddamn helmet, and that is it. She gives her a fucking helmet. What kind of birthday present is that? I thought both parents were dicks. They're both dicks. How can you treat your own daughter like that? No cake, no party, fuck both of them. I was so bad. I was so upset, and Poor Haley Steinfeld. I feel so bad for the actress. I like the character, but it just wasn't what I expected. I wanted like a badass, So while driving home her car, she finds out that ordinary is actually Bumblebee. At first, the girl, she was scared, but then she finds out, the car can transform, and she likes it. And honestly, I just didn't like that Bumblebee, became a house pet. I just wasn't happy with that he was a house pet, or he goes and trashes Watson's house. I just didn't like it. Or when her mom steals her car, without asking her. She got the car, not her shitty mom, dickless mom. This is just bad movie. In the meantime, John Cena wants revenge, and he's hunting down Bumblebee. So two Decepticons, Shatter and Dropkick, decides they're looking, they're looking for Optimus Prime and Autobots. And when Charlie opens, the radio in the car, in the junkyard, she accidentally gives a signal, and two Decepticons who are looking for Optimus Prime and are hunting down, Autobots, they receive the signal from planet Earth, so they go to planet Earth. Shatter and Dropkick, so they go to planet Earth, and the planet Earth, while they're looking for, they're actually looking for Bumblebee. They go, when U.S. Air Force stops them, they both decide to work with U.S. Air Force by saying they're Decepticons, they're a good guy, they're looking for a fugitive, B-27, 127. They're looking for him. So they working with now with military, in order to get satellites so that they can track down Bumblebee because they wanna terminate him. In meantime, Charlie finds love in her car, Bumblebee, and I like that, but the story is kinda the same as the first movie, almost the same story. And this kid non-stop, stalking Charlie, wants something for her to be her girlfriend. Fuck him, fuck him. He was a stalker. So he because he was stalking her, because he wanted to ask her for a date. He finds out, that her car can transform. In the meantime, she tries to teach him that he goes and hides if she sees someone. But the jokes, it just didn't work. So by the second hour, it was actually the second hour when Charlie, she goes on the cliff, and she used to be a jumper. She actually used to be a jumper, and she jumped, and she because the kid jumped off the cliff and she wasn't doing anymore. She panicked, and she just kinda went away. It's just hard to talk about this film because it was just bad, those jokes just didn't work. Now, by the second hour, Bumblebee, turns into RoboCop. When Charlie gets attacked, he becomes a RoboCop and goes and blows the Air Force, all the vehicles. He goes and blows everyone up. He's like RoboCop, a big machine. My God, this movie was just stupid. I can't talk anymore. 6.7 gets IMDb. That was just stupid. This movie was just atrocious bad. Was just stupid. It was stupid. They made Bumblebee into a joke. I didn't want that he's a house pet. I want him a badass. I hated how horrible they treated Haley Steinfeld, her character, especially her character in this movie. Especially both parents were dicks. Oh, by the third act they decide to help her out to get her back. Fuck both of them. If it were me, I would make a better story. I would make her a badass. I would make she would help Bumblebee on a different way. I'm not saying she had to murder people or kill people. No. The only scene that I liked was that when Bumblebee gets captured by the Air Force and Decepticons, because her parents are dicks, especially the stepfather. I hated the guy who played stepfather. I hated him. He was such a fucking dick. I hated him with that beard. I hated him how he horrible treated his stepdaughter. I hated her brother because he was a snitch. He snitched her. And no wonder his name was Otis from Superman. He was a snitch. He snitched her to her parents. And no, it was just terrible. This movie was just bad. It was just terrible. So I like that scene when she goes in her room and she which is a homage to Commando. She grabs a leather jacket, great shoes, a knife, puts the leather jacket on, and she jumps out of the window, and we see her boots, and then we see her face. I like that scene. That was the only good scene with the music score by Dario Marinelli. That was the only good scene that I liked, and especially the music. I really liked it. It was kind of homage to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master, when Alice turns herself into a badass. And they made this movie into 80s, that this was like 1987, before even the first movie started it. But I expected more. Especially was disappointing, that Bumblebee doesn't even fight back. Or he lost his memory. Fuck his memory. He's a soldier, a battle robot. He's supposed to fight. Or the humans are working with the Decepticons unaware why they bring extinction of themselves. Stupid. It was just stupid. This movie was just stupid. It was atrocious bad. And like I said, I feel bad for the actress. Now, this movie is still my favorite. This is the best one. Still my favorite. I love this movie to death. It's always gonna be my favorite. Fuck to the haters who hate this movie. This movie, you know, Optimus Prime, Megatron. This is my favorite. No Megatron in this movie, by the way. This is my favorite. You know. This movie gets crap, gets shit on it because of its humor, because it's long running or direction, the humor, like it's inferior to the first one, that it's not good. Yes, it has flaws. Okay, the humor does not work. Megan Fox wasn't that great either. She was way too much hot, and she wasn't that what we expected in the first movie. I understand that. But on its own, it's still a good movie. Killing off Optimus Prime was a mistake. Like it, they resurrected, but still was a mistake. But I understand that this movie wasn't what people expected. I understand this movie gets crap and hate on it. And I know people will disagree with me because it's less than 2 hours, only 1 hour and 50 minutes, somewhere there. Because the whole running is 1 hour and 57 minutes, so people will disagree. Now this movie, you know, I don't stand the hate for this movie. We have a badass character, Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, which he was actually much better in this movie than he was in the first movie. He has like that weapon on his wrist, that grappling weapon on his wrist, and fires right Starscream in the eye, stabs him in the fucking eye, you know, when Starscream says, "I thought you were working for us, boy," and starts attacking him. He grabs that on the wrist, fires right in the eye, stabs him in the eye, grabs like a long stick, you know, stabs him in another eye, which has a grenade, and that time William Lennox jumps on him, you know, then pull off. He goes and cuts that line, they fall down, and Sam Witwicky blows Starscream to pieces. I like that scene. He goes and fights Dylan Gold in the third movie. Patrick Dempsey goes and fights him off. He goes to the building, you know, and Patrick Dempsey says, "You have balls." I love Patrick Dempsey in that movie as a bad guy. Goes and fights Sam Witwicky, says, "You choose a side, you choose wrong." I like that scene. Sam Witwicky was a badass. But no, the fifth one movie goes and kills him off without explanation. Fuck that. And yes, he definitely is my favorite character. And this movie ended the same story. It ended it. This movie ended. This movie gets non-stop crap for no reason. Now this movie gets the same treatment as this movie. Both get the same treatment. This movie gets the same treatment. The same treatment. Because it's almost 3 hours long. Because of running time. Because of its humor. Oh wait, so this guy, Joshua Joyce, played by Stanley Tucci, he drinks milk. Oh wait, but in this movie, Wang, he also drinks milk, but they're not gonna make fun of him. But they will go and make fun. They're gonna make fun of him in this movie. Oh, it's humor. Oh, it's pacing. You know, Lockdown was a badass. He was a terrified, badass robot. I enjoyed him. Like I said, he blows Ratchet to pieces. He blows everyone. He blows Lucas Valeri to pieces. He stabs with a knife Optimus Prime. I like that scene. Lockdown was definitely one of the best bad guys. Harold Attinger was great guy. He was a great badass, a great terrifying villain in my opinion. Okay, he wasn't terrifying. Or his second command, James Savoy. They were good. They did good job. You know, they did good job in this movie. This movie gets crap for no reason. Oh yeah, it's running time, direction, the story is bad. I don't think that story was that bad. I thought that Michael Bay did best as he could. But I liked it, you know. I like this film. You know, I love this film. The first one and the third one and the fourth one I enjoy. I like this film. But this movie gets crap. I guess it's not the one you expected. You know, it's just... No, this is just disappointing film. In my opinion, And like I said, it was stupid. The jokes, like half hour, like almost half of the movie, Bumblebee is a pussy. He doesn't fight back. He's a pussy. He's just, I just wasn't expecting. And the actress, Charlie Watson, she has such a piece of garbage parents. If I would be her, I would leave them. Fuck them. I expected she could be more badass, but no, she wasn't. She could have been a more badass. Oh, she stopped because they were calling Decepticons. Why was this movie made? If she stopped those two guys, Decepticons, calling the other Decepticons, why was this movie made? Oh, for the money, it's money. It wasn't for the money, dumbasses. This was just really bad prequel or whatever. It was stupid prequel. It's stupid. This movie was stupid. John Cena was useless. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it was young Agent Simmons was this movie. I forgot. John Cena was Sector 7 at the time. And Agent Simmons was in this movie. And he was barely only one scene and that was it. No explanation. Why was even Agent Simmons in this movie? No explanation why he turned, why he was like that. No explanation at all. It just made no sense. And I like the scene when Bumblebee runs away from the Air Force and grabs Charlie, tries to protect her. I like that scene, and that was the only good scene in the action. The action sequences didn't work for me. Another problem was like Bumblebee by the finale fights off this guy drop kick, and he goes and I don't know, did he cut him to pieces? It was just terrible. It kind of felt like a superhero film. Just the action just wasn't, the action just lacked in this movie. It just wasn't so good movie like I expected. I'm glad that it was less than 2 hours, but this was like PG-13 movie, a family movie. I wanted him a badass. Why Bumblebee couldn't be a badass like he was in the first and the third movie? He should be a badass and he wasn't. This is just bad film. It was just terrible. The Last Night I'll still say worse, but this will be to me the second worst film. It's just, I barely make it. I was like kicking myself in the head while watching this film because so bad it was. I know what they tried to do, but it just did not work. It just wasn't that good film in my opinion. Just wasn't that good. So the budget for this movie was $135 million. This was less. I actually yesterday read that Last Night was $100 million. It deserves it because it was Abomination. It sucked. So yeah, budget was $135 million. Worldwide, $467 million. Still good one, still good, but just wasn't. Peter Cullen was Optimus Prime returns, but he's only a few flashbacks. I don't know why Bumblebee turns into yellow 96 Volkswagen Beetle until by the finale he turns himself into Camaro. And why was Charlie even leaving Bumblebee? Why? Why couldn't she stay with him? I thought she loved the car. I wouldn't do that, but she goes and says, "You're free now, you can go. It was stupid. And what my friend told me that they're planning to do the sequel. Thank God it wasn't. This movie was just stupid, especially the finale. Why this girl had to say, "You can go, you're free now, you can go," and he turns himself into Camaro in San Francisco and leave. Why she had to do that? Why the girl had to say, "You're free now"? Why she couldn't stay with him? If it would be me, I would make more darker film. I will make more that she will stay with him. Fuck her parents. They treated her trash, Oh, by the finale, they tried to help her and they fucked up. Fuck both of them. Her brother snitched her to her parents. He's a snitch. Fuck him. I don't like snitches. He was a snitch. And yeah, they only cared about her brother. She barely was. I hated it when her dickless mom goes and insults her. I hated her for that. I was pissed. I hated her for that. The actress who played Charlie's mom, I hated her so much. She was a shitty god-awful mom, in my opinion. And her woman was a dickless dick. The man had no dick. This movie was just abomination. That's just terrible. Why he didn't fight back? Why? Why there were no explosions? Less explosions. Terrible action sequences. Terrible story. Half of the movie, there's bad action sequence and more focus on this girl and her life instead being an action film. It wasn't. It just wasn't. The action sequences did not work for me. The jokes, when Bumblebee grabs those eggs and trashes for that girl Tina's car, that was just stupid. This mean girl, who played Tina. Why they cannot do that? That Charlie and Tina would, that she will discover it. They would fight off on the end, just like in the third movie, or that they actually would, that she will decide to help her out, just like was in Corey Haim's Demolition High. Why they couldn't do that from a bully to become a hero, since she had a team. So, I would rather see if this guy, who played, I think was Mellow, or this black dude who was stalking her, who played this guy, who wanted her as a girlfriend, I was actually, he tried to grab her for her head and kiss her. If he would kiss her, they would be couple, I would be more pissed. Because this will be outrageous red if that will happen. But thank God she said no. She doesn't need a boyfriend. She should do stuff her own. And I liked it that that she was alone, but this guy kept helping her. I would rather have a character, It doesn't matter if it's a girl or a guy, to be a badass, just like what Sammy Twiggy, he was a badass. He killed Starscream. He fight off Dylan Gold. I would like to have that kind of character, a great lead, a likable lead, a likable character. But no, her shitty boyfriend had to help her out. So she stopped preventing the word. I just understand that why was this movie made instead? Why? Bumblebee was Camaro the time when Sam Twiggy find it. But why was this movie then made? They could just do Bumblebee and that will be over. I just don't understand this movie. I don't understand the praise for this movie. I don't understand that people like this film. I don't understand this film, man. I don't understand. 6.7, it does not deserve that kind of higher score on IMDb. It just isn't that much good of a film. It kind of feels lame. It kind of feels drag. And I don't want that Bumblebee is a joke in this movie. I don't want him being a pet animal. He's a pet animal. Yes, he's a pet. He's actually a pet now. Oh, what? Oh my God. This movie could have been really good. This movie could have been better. It could have been really good. I wish that Bumblebee would be actually a badass. I wish that Charlie would be a badass. They could turn her into a badass, She could Just like that movie with Charlie Sheen, The Wraith, from 1986 with Nick Cassavetes and Charlie Sheen, The Rat or The Wraith or how you call it, from 1986, when he was such a badass in that car. I wish they could turn her into a badass, but they didn't. They turned Bumblebee into a pussy, into a joke, into a pet animal. I don't want that he's a pet animal. He was actually he actually was a badass in this movie. This movie he was a badass. This movie he was a badass. He didn't even look like it was in this movie. It was just atrocious bad movie. I only like that scene which is homage to Commando. She gets suited up with that little jacket, her boots, and she puts the knife in it. I like that scene. That's the only good scene I liked. Or when Bumblebee grabs her, tries to protect her. I like that scene. But that's the only good scene in the movie. The only good scenes. I did not like it. I hated this movie. This was stupid. It was just stupid. The jokes just didn't work. Like Bumblebee goes and trashes with eggs that car or destroys that car. It was just stupid. And people are saying how Michael Bay's jokes are bad. This movie was just terrible. And I know people say, I like this film. Fantastic. All power to you. I hated this film. Worse than The Last Night? No. The Last Night is still the worst one. This will be to me the second worst one. And I don't think I'll ever see this film again. Maybe in the future I'll probably rewatch or have to rewatch it. Now I don't have this film. I only have the first 4 Transformer movies. And like I said, I enjoyed this film. Love this film. I enjoyed this film. I did a review. I explained why. And I love this film. People hate this film because of direction, stories, running time. But Lockdown is a damn good robot. He was a badass and I enjoyed him. There were scenes in it that I enjoyed. And I like this film. But I would say definitely Bumblebee, this movie, I would put this movie above Bumblebee. But Bumblebee just wasn't that much good of a movie in my opinion at all. But before I say anything, Haley Steinfeld was good. She was good, but she deserved better. She really did good. I like her. I like her performance. Is the only good thing about the film. I only wish that she will leave that stupid boyfriend. I only wish that she will leave her shitty family. Fuck both of them. Fuck her family. She was so mistreated, and this kid was stalking her. Her so-called boyfriend stalked her. He stalked her. I wish we could got a better story, a better happy story. Like she will stay with Bumblebee. They could do the sequel and she will be still with Charlie Watson. But no, they didn't. I think that we deserve a better story, better prequel, more action, and Bumblebee should be a badass. And no Megatron this movie, the robots could be better. Even the effects could be better, but that just wasn't. It was terrible executed. Just wasn't well executed, But yeah, that's RANT and my movie review on Bumblebee 2018. This is now my final video, and I'm actually done with this franchise. The Last Night is still the worst one. This will be to me the second worst one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm out. Peace, and I'll see you in the next review soon. Bye bye.